Good evening, Professor. I would like to talk to you tonight about a thing that we discussed in class about the weasel and why I have been having these recent suspicions about it that has made me feel that the article is dangerous in some way, that we should be somewhat like the weasel. And I thought to myself, why would I want to become a weasel? Why is this creature that we would normally consider lowly, awful, be so noble? I mean, when you think of weasel, when I say weasel, what do you immediately think of? Something, a liar, a cheat, a snake. So, that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Why is the weasel all of a sudden noble? Why? Why is it? Why is a snake in the grass all of a sudden noble? Like Milton's Paradise Lost, why is Satan all of a sudden trying to be portrayed as this noble entity who tried to fight against the tyranny of an unfeeling entity that we know as God, who is full of love, compassion, and wants the best for humans? Why should we love a being who has brought us so low, who has led us to bring death into the world, has caused untold amount of chaos and madness? And this is where we find out the dangers of this article. We should not act like the weasel. We should never act like a weasel. We should not needlessly follow our instincts and mindlessly kill like the weasel. We should not go out to simply kill for killing's sake. When we kill for killing's sake, you know that it's needless, it's wrong. And in the article, it was said that a man who was bitten by one of these walked half a mile just to soak him off, to spare the creature's life because he admired its tenacity. Well, what if we bring a child into the equation and we saw, like, if you saw one of your children bitten by the weasel, would you walk half a mile to soak it off because you admire its tenacity, that it's causing your child pain? No. You would be angry at that weasel. You would be like, how dare you touch my child? And I will destroy you. That's what I'd do. For an example, here we have an example of a being, a good being guided by will and reason, Quincy from Dracula. And here we have example of a weasel, Dracula, the vampire, the destroyer. Why is he a destroyer? If you look at the book, you'll find out why he's the destroyer. Look what he did to Lucy, poor Lucy. She became a twisted being, denied the will of God, denied the light of God, denied the light of day, to touch, feel, sense, and love. That was taken from her. What took it from her? The weasel. And she had to be unfortunately destroyed by it. But when Dracula attacked the only other female, the only other star in that book, Mina, lovely, beautiful Mina, and she was nearly destroyed by that weasel. But Quincy, even though she did not love him, he loved her. And he went out of his way and destroyed it, even if it cost him his own life. Because she was a thing worth fighting for. We must be careful about trying to make such a creature like the weasel noble. Weasels are not noble. They're tenacious, but they are not good. We should aspire to be better, to be higher, to be guided by a will and a reason instead of based instincts like the weasel. I would like to thank you, and good night.